Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my wonderful co-pilot, Mr. Greenbean. How you doing tonight?
Well, I didn't know. I was quick. I was ready for the whole thing, and I was eating. So, hello.
So,
Ryan, I
got.
Well, look, I got cactus fingers. I reached, and I touched the cactus. I don't know what to do. I can't touch anything. I can't find them, but I'm miserable, Ryan. What do I do?
Dude, that is the worst. I remember as a kid touching this fuzzy looking plant and just like, just screaming. Not good. Not good. Fun
miserable.
fact, there was supposed to be an intro there, but I'm screwing around with some of my stuff, and I took my hard drive out that is normally on there, so it didn't have it. It was like, oh, file not found. I was like, I'm just going to go straight to the twosome.
Yeah, it's funny because like, well, this is the show. Like, I'm uber comfortable here. Like, I know how things are gonna go. Mm-hmm. I know how long I have and everything. And it was like all of a sudden I see my face and I got a mouthful of Cool Ranch Doritos, and I was like, oh no, I'm Jeremy.
Boys and girls, if you're just heading in here, make sure you hit that like button. We have no Matt today. He's got some work he's got to take care of, so it'll be Greenbean and I for the duration of the show. So sorry for those of you that wanted to see Matt. For every 25 likes, you know what? Let's do this. I still want you guys to hit the like button, but I want to push a little bit of traction to the panel via Twitter. So anyone who retweets the stream will be entered into our t-shirt giveaway tonight. So just think about it. It's not like we're picking random people. It's only the people that retweet tonight. Look at that.
Well, all right. Do I have to manage this? I don't know what to do now. Where is it?
I should be able to find it. That one's not as hard as some of the other stuff.
Okay.
Hopefully people do it. If not, then someone's gonna win a shirt. Oh, I see you guys found some of your. Well, I think I only put one new emoji in there. I put the sauce bottle. Oh wait.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No, nice. I think I put more than that. I'll see it if it's in there. Let's see. They found it. For those of you that are members, look at the new emojis you guys got in there. They're gonna be pretty fun.
There it is. Milk.
Oh yeah, and a little sauce.
That's awesome.
See?
Yeah, I like that.
Look at us go. I got to get I don't know how many members I need to hit 26 letters, but I'm gonna do the entire damn alphabet if I can at some point, and it's just a lot of fun to see what winds up popping up in the chat. Fat Gandalf says, a friend of my son was at camp, had a number 2 jersey with MILF Hunter nameplate. Elijah and Corey signed it. That's amazing. I saw a few of those. There was MILFson. I saw MILF Hunter. It's really good. Fun fact, if you have a fantasy football team and you're trying to use, I think it's ESPN, your abbreviation cannot be MILF. It also can't be MILF with an exclamation point instead of an I. It also can't be MILF with an exclamation point instead of an I and an uppercase I to give the illusion of an L. They don't like that either. So my abbreviation is MOMS. Instead, my team name is Zach Wilson's Mom's Friend. That's I'm rolling with that one.
Yeah, okay. Zach Wilson's mom's friend. So they're on it. They're paying attention out there.
They're looking out there.
Remember back in the
teacher
day.
Says, yo. What's up?
No, I'm just saying, remember the long gone are the Baba Booey phone calls. People are hip now, man. You know what I mean? They know what we're doing out here.
Yeah, they understand. It's fun. Oh man, I had some topics all planned up. Ooh, Johnny Bravo. All right, I still got to figure out how to get this onto the screen. But Johnny Bravo says, how happy are we that the Dolphins are losing a first-round pick? So, Greenbean, I don't know if you know this. Oh, you clearly know it.
Yeah, I know this one.
The Dolphins are a horrible franchise, and their owner is a scumbag douche. Basically, they tried to get Brian Flores to intentionally lose games, which is horrible because apparently... I'm getting a little bit of feedback, Greenbean.
You know why it's horrible, Ryan?
Why?
Because Adam Gase didn't do it for us. That's why it's so horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right? Yeah. So apparently they did not It was not good. Not good. God damn it. I'm getting a little bit of an echo. Green Bean, do you have, you don't have headphones on?
I can get them. I can get
Can you turn
I
your
got
volume down just a little bit? I'm catching a little bit of the echo.
I'll put headphones on. No sweat.
Cool.
No
Okay,
sweat.
so Dolphins, for those of you that don't know, lose a first round pick this year, and they lose a third round pick next year. So what's going to wind up happening? It's all because they were trying to make Flores tank on purpose, which ruins his winning record, which makes it harder for him to get a job. It hurts everyone on the roster because everyone's going to have worse stats because of it. It's huge. It's absolutely massive, and it's not a good thing to have in sports. It destroys the integrity of the game.
I agree. Well, look, I mean, this is the thing. It's like, and we can kind of dovetail this into some bigger stuff. You know, if we want to have this conversation, it's up to you. But the truth is that the NFL is trying to maintain a business where the idea that there's actual competition going on is paramount. So you see that when there's anybody that does anything that kind of messes with that, they tend to, unless it's the Patriots, of course, they tend to come down pretty heavily, like on gambling or, you know, stuff like that, performance enhancing drugs. Like they tend to be almost, I'm getting feedback too, interestingly, in my headphones. But anyway, so it seems like sometimes even too much so, like the pendulum is too far on that side, but they tend to come down harsher on the things that look like they could erode the foundation of the competition piece. Like that's really their job. I mean, you know, they're not the police. You know, they're not, you know, whatever. They have a certain, certain codes of conduct and everything. But from my vantage point, it looks like they come down harder on, like, whenever you do something that could potentially impact the idea that, wait a minute, this isn't real. This is WWE. You know what I mean? It's like they plan the winners. How many people would be less diehard if you knew that all that kind of stuff, like they were tanking, they had decided who's going to win, the refs already know who they're going to call penalties against. And if we found out all that shit, and there are even videos out there, I don't know if you've ever seen them. Some of the listeners have directed me to some videos in the past about like magnets and computer chips in the ball. Like when it the ball's going up on a kick and it just turns hard right, and they think that's a computer chip and all sorts. But so the idea is there, right? So when you have any kind of proof, so Brian Flores comes out, he's furious and he blows up in many senses of the word, his own ship to kind of let the NFL know what's really going on. Like what everybody know. Like, look, dude, not only are they tampering with Tom Brady, I was told to go on a boat or whatever the hell that was. Sean Payton, like we're doing all that stuff. We're breaking rules all over the place. But they were going to pay me $100,000. They incentivized my losing. So I would be the sole beneficiary of losing games. And like you said, everybody else suffers. Whether it's guys trying to get a contract in a contract year and on and on and on and on, right? The possibilities are endless. How many people are impacted? And then there's the fans. They're paying money, they're rooting, and all this kinds of stuff. So he comes out and he says all this stuff. And then Brian Flores was dragged through the mud. Many people think that he didn't get a couple of jobs because of it, namely New Orleans and maybe some others, right? So to find out that there was even any merit to what he was saying leads me to believe, and probably many other people, that there's a lot more going on, because they didn't get proven that they tanked. That wasn't what was proven. What was proven was that they tampered with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. At least that's how I heard it. I was listening to Sirius XM and they went into it in some detail. So they're still digging into the tanking thing. They're not done with that yet. So I think
the Flores part, I think they did do the Flores part. I saw a comment from Brian Flores and his lawyer, and they said they were disappointed that the repercussions were not greater than they were. Because I think Ross is suspended for like 6 games or half the season or something like that. Dude should be forced to sell his team. You're incentivizing losing. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're not part of the league anymore.
And what big deal is it that the owner is suspended? What impact does that have on the game? What impact?
Yeah.
$1.5
Who's going to tell this
million.
man, no, you're not coming into the stadium? Like, if he wants to be there, he'll be there. He'll be
sorry. Right? Yeah, there's some
sorry, Mr. Ross.
Some $10.50 an hour security guard. Like, nope. The NFL said. You know what I mean? But it's like, and even if he does stay away, who gives a shit? He's got a GM, he's got coaches, he's got a quarterback. What is, it doesn't matter. Can he not pay anybody? So that's a stupid repercussion, in my opinion. Remember when it happened to Irsay? Like, it was like, great, yeah, he's drinking or whatever, and you can't come near your team for a month. Oh no, you know. But so they paid $1.5 million, or at least they received a $1.5 million fine, and which is significant. But by their level, it's not. It's like it's pocket change. That's what we just paid Quan Alexander. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking that's Chuma Edoga.
Ugh, crazy.
So. You know what I mean? So, but the good one is a first round pick in 2023, which is this coming draft, and then a third in the following draft. But anyway, yeah. So Ross said that he was proven innocent on the tampering. I mean, on the tanking thing, but they did not say that. So this is all Brian Flores. Remember, Brian Flores blew up the Brady boat too. Remember, he was the one saying that they wanted him to meet with Brady or something. I forget these
in open waters or something like that.
It's right.
Totally screwy.
But you know what, Ryan? I'd love to hear your thoughts, man. Like, how much of this shit is going on? Like, if guys like Brian Flores, like, let's say nobody else is willing to do what Brian Flores does. Like, they sit down, they talk with their support, and they're like, dude, don't put your neck on the chopping block for this. It's bigger than you. You're going to ruin your career. It's going to be like a Colin Kaepernick thing. Like, you're going to be the one on the outside, no matter if people think you're right. And again, the game's going to go on. So how many people have been quiet with stuff like this over the years?
Oh, I bet it's a ton. I mean, this is not unlike that Me Too movement with that Weinstein character that was making people undress and do all the nasty stuff just to be into showbiz. Like, people were staying quiet because they were benefiting from it and they were making money. And then it comes out, and now Brian Flores, blew the whistle on it. And unfortunately, I mean, he is a coach for the Steelers. I believe, was he a linebackers coach or something like that now? I hope he gets another shot. I thought he was the best head coaching candidate this circuit that could have been hired. And I really wanted to see him in New Orleans. I thought that was going to be a really cool spot for him to land. And he may never get another coaching job again because he bit the hand that fed him. And that's just it.
Right.
I feel bad for the guy. I really do. And you know what? It's probably
when they fired him.
Well, that's like the friggin' the Browns, and we'll get to this. I see a super chat coming up about Watson, but the Browns, their ownership sucks too because they were trying to get Caldwell to do the same thing, or apparently did do the same thing, offered him money. So it's all one big clusterfuck. I'm not a fan of it.
I bet it's
Guido619 joins the channel. Thank you, brother. Becomes the newest member of the Jets Talk 24/7 family. Drop some JETS in the chat and maybe some MILFs as well. Show him all those new emojis that he's got to work with. Sorry, Greenbeat, I'm just going to rip through a few super chats here that are popping up. I had all these topics all planned up, but I stuck them all in our 3-panel slide, and I don't know how to get them over here without jacking stuff up. So now I'm just like, we'll go off the chat. Forget what I was going to talk about. Josh says they actually lost picks for tampering with Brady and Peyton, not because of the tanking situation. Interesting, because I guess if Flores blew the whistle on this particular situation, maybe they're still investigating, like you said, Greenbean, the tampering situation or the tanking situation. Maybe they lose that other first, because like Frankie from Flatbush said, they had 2 firsts going into next year. I'd love to see them get the other one pulled as well. They shouldn't have any first round picks for doing that shit.
That's right. And let me just say this while we're at it. And Bill Belichick shouldn't be allowed to coach in this. And like, what is this? Like, we slap these guys. Like, how many times can you get caught cheating, right? So these guys get caught. They lose a pick or two. Hey, you can't come hang out with your team. Wow. Oh, I'll just go to Guam or to Barbados instead for a little while. And it doesn't matter. And then but what's really going on? Like after this, so you lose a pick. Great. We already have another first. I mean, it sucks for the team, but still, it's not the end of the world. And $1.5 million, like it ultimately means nothing. And so, essentially, if you really want to take a shot at whether it's tampering or whether it's tanking, and that now the precedent is set, 1.5 million, and I can't come near the team for a month, no problem. I'll do it. It's worth it.
Yeah. Kyle Ormsby says they found no evidence of them trying to lose games. The loss of picks is for tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. Kyle, I really hope it's because they haven't investigated it fully just yet, because I really don't like the incentivized losing it. It sounds like Flores has a letter that they have in hand of him telling upper management that he did not feel comfortable doing that. So I think that should be coming down the pipe if it was offered. Now, maybe they didn't try to lose the games, and maybe that's why there's no infraction. But I don't love that look either. Aaron says, how do you see the safety competition playing out? Love you guys. Preseason around the corner. What undrafted player have you heard bald in camp? So I think my favorite part of the safety competition, I really like Whitehead and I really like Joyner. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, those guys are probably going to be starting the season. But Pinnock, he looks good in training camp. Like, I'm watching him in some of the drills, and I know it's nothing like, we're not seeing a whole lot of game stuff. He's someone I'm going to be keeping an eye on at the green and white scrimmage on Saturday. But I really like Pinnock, and I'm hoping he has the ability to, if he's not going to steal that starting role, to at least be in the conversation of, like, competing for it next year. Because I think he's got a lot of talent. Green Bean, is there anyone safety-wise that you kind of like from our little competition we got going on here?
Yeah, well, if I may, I have a versus game going on right now with exactly this question. If you guys want to take a chance at it, you can click on the links in my videos and guess. You can make some money. But so I have Joyner versus Pinnock, right? I don't think Ashton Davis is going to start. I just don't think it. I think they'll use him in certain situations, but I think the actual competition is between Jason Pinnock and LaMarcus Joyner. And here's what I think is going to happen. Unless Pinnock is lights out in the preseason, I think it's smart to start Joyner first, little while, feather Pinnock in certain situations, see how he handles it, and then slowly but surely make him the starter if he does well. I would love nothing more than to see a mid-round pick last year change positions and make good and become a starter. Pinnock was the one pick, not the one, but he was probably the one I didn't like. I mean, the one I liked the least. And look, we were together. I went, Jason Pinnock? Like, I didn't like that pick at all. So the fact that he, look, we have a little bit of data. He played okay at free safety, and supposedly the Jets love him there. I would love nothing more than to see him win the job. But again, I think it's probably smarter to let LaMarcus Joyner kind of man the position and see how Pinnock fares as we feather him into certain situations.
Yeah, and then as far as what undrafted player have you heard bald in camp? Undrafted player.
Rashard.
Rashard. Well, yeah, that's a good one because that's an older one. He's an undrafted free agent from 2017.
Yep, and he's a USFL star.
Joe Douglas brought him in to the Eagles in 2017.
I would love to see. I mean, look, I don't think much of those guys like, bottom end, like eighth wide receiver guys for this year. I like to see those guys make it to the practice squad and develop for a little while. But like you said, he's a little bit older. He's been around the block. He played in Canada too, if I remember correctly. I might have that
Mm-hmm.
wrong. Maybe Canada, USFL, and like you said, he was an undrafted free agent of the Eagles.
I think he was on
So
the
he's been in
Titans
the
for a little
NFL.
bit too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But he had that 1 or 2 good days, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes with him. But, look, in truth, man, as much as I loved the idea of the Smith brothers, like I really liked Vincent Smith. I liked his skill set. I thought he had a lot of potential. I'm just about ready, like 2-3 seasons on the practice squad. It's like, okay, just if they're never going to be able to shake that off and bump up a spot after 2-3 years, it's time to move on and bring somebody in that could. And I think that it's Rashard Davis, isn't it? Or
Yep.
David Rashard? What? Yeah.
No, you're right.
So, I'd like to see, like, if Rashard Davis can prove that he's got, a little bit to offer, I'd like to see maybe the Vincent Smiths, the Tariq Blacks, the DJ Montgomerys, or DJ Montgomery's gone. So that was nice. I'm done with DJ Montgomery. I mean, I have nothing against him personally, you know what I mean? But it's just like, we brought him in last year. He drops a pass. It's like, okay, just go away. So anyway, I'd like to see maybe a Rashard Davis come in and bump the Vincent and or Jeff Smith or Tariq Blacks of the world off the team. I think that would be what I'd like, and that's all I'm hearing so far.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going to go. I was going to go Rashard Davis, and when you said Davis, I was like, oh, he beat me to it. So that would be mine as well. Muttvile says, explain why Watson was suspended for 6 games for misconduct and Ridley's suspension all year from gambling. So the NFL is all about their money. And Calvin Ridley, like Green Bean alluded to, put that in jeopardy. If people feel like there's no integrity or there's no randomness or skill to the game and it's all quote unquote rigged, or he's, maybe hedging, shaving points, something along those lines, the league will never recover. So they take it very, very seriously. Now, that being said, I don't think there should be an issue with gambling in sports as long as you're gambling on your team to win. You're gambling on the over for passing yards, the over for rushing yards, the over for receiving yards, and the unders for all the defensive stats. Things that would help your team win. I think that should be fine. Now, unfortunately, that's not the way it goes, and Calvin Ridley loses a year of his career because of it, while Deshaun Watson had 26 cases brought against him. And he only gets 6 games. And I think it's absolutely asinine. I was going to make a video about it, but I was like way too steamed up. And I was like, I'm just going to go for a walk. Like, this guy's like, I'm going to say something stupid. I was ready to like go. I do not want the Browns to win a frigging game. I think they're a shit organization. I think he's a shit person. And I think, I'm going to be rooting for Baker all year, especially week 1 against him. I think the 6-game suspension, I hope the league appeals it and they try to get him for a year and a half and they settle on a year or something along those lines. Now, the reason he got less was because the owner should be held to a higher standard. Snyder never got in trouble. Kraft barely got anything for the day spa or whatever. So that's the rationale that was used. And it's weird that the judge that, presided over the case said there is evidence of Watson doing things to these girls that they did not want, knowing they did not want it, and had all this expectation and everything. And she's like, so that's why I'm going to give him, and I'm going to give him 6 games because it was non-violent. I bet if you asked the 26 girls that came forward and asked if it was non-violent, they probably have a slightly different take on the whole thing. Now, if he winds up getting 6 games, I would absolutely love if the NFL came out, if they had the balls, they would come out and they would say, Deshaun Watson will be suspended for the 6 games that the judge said he should be, but we're gonna make him miss all 6 division games. We're not doing the first 6 because we gave them a cupcake schedule. They have the number 1 easiest schedule in the league for the first 6 games. They knew it was coming. They built the schedule that way. I think it's a load of crap, and I think they should totally, hit him and hit the Browns where it hurts. That's my 2 thoughts on that.
Well, and it's funny, and you're wise, bro. You're smart not to jump in. It's one of those areas where, I've learned, I learned it a couple years ago. I learned it in Ohio, but that's a different story. I made a video in Ohio and I just mentioned something. And the backlash that I got on both, it was like either side, like it was venomous, you know what I mean? On both sides. And I realized, like, for me, and I think that you're smart too, like, just, we stay out of this one, at least until it's all decided, like in the speculative piece. I don't know. I just think people get real hot over this stuff. And like, look, the truth is that I think if he's guilty of these things, I think he should get a year. I mean, at minimum, right? But I also think he should go to jail. Like, so that's the other side of it. So, but that all is what it is. But as far as what the NFL is doing, like when people, I've heard that, I don't know, 24 times in the past 48 hours, like why Ridley gets this and why Deshaun Watson gets that. But I think you just nailed it. I mean, look, the NFL, they're not the legal system. They are a business. You know what I mean? So they're looking at which one impacts their business more. Now, do I think that's right? No, that's not where I'm coming from. But trying to look at why they would give one this way and be okay with the other one the other way, it definitely is rooted in something to do with that. Like gambling upsets the apple cart. Sexual assault, maybe in their eyes it doesn't. Now, I mean, that's not my opinion, but trying to dissect this, it's like it probably has something to do with that. In my opinion, I think the NFL should probably appeal it. And which is weird because they have to appeal to themselves, right?
Yeah, it goes to Goodell. So I wonder, like, does he appeal it and then he sets the punishment anyway?
Yeah, and he goes a year. But then why go through all this? Like, that's the weird part about it. I don't know.
Well, I think it's probably then they should say, like, hey, we're going to give you a year and a half. And then they meet in the middle from where the judge, who was supposed to be like independent of Goodell, and then they make it a year and they call it that. But they're they should make it a year, and they're like, hey, we're going to suspend you 6 games this year and 8 games next year, or 9 games next year. And they screw 2 seasons for him.
Wow, that would be bizarre. Now,
I hate the contract that they gave him too. Dude, it like burns me up. Like they knew everything they were doing was shady.
Yeah, totally.
It's just shitty. I don't want to see the world work like this, and it is.
Well, look, I think as far as this all goes, like you said, Cleveland did that with a few players. Like they kind of remember when Dorsey was there, they spent a few months kind of collecting all the troubled players out there, whether it be OBJ, whether it be Kareem Hunt, whether it be Sheldon Richardson. Like they collected all these guys, and it was like, I don't know, man. To me, it just seemed like they were disregarding, like the Chiefs just cut him and you sign him. Like, I don't know, man. Can we let the guy kind of feel it for a second? I don't know.
There's no repercussion.
But I'm with you.
Like with Watson, It's like, hey, you get 6 weeks off. You get to get out of Houston like you wanted. You got your money. You're only being fined $333,000 of your $238 million fully guaranteed. Like he's still making $45 million this year. That's insane to me. Josh Scott says they found the tanking incentive to be a joke. I think they probably had to do that because of the gambling aspect with the Ridley thing, and now also an owner possibly being involved with having tanked. They probably have to say that to try and save face. That sucks. Yeah, they should lose another pick.
Right, and that's the thing too. Like I see New York Jets, Florida, in the chat. He brings up, well, what about Robert Kraft? And it's like, yeah, what about Robert Kraft? Like the Patriots, like this is what I'm saying. The Patriots seem to get away with everything. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. It's just
they destroyed the Deflategate tapes because it was so egregious.
Yeah, and they destroyed the Spygate tapes, you mean? Is that what you mean?
That's what I meant. Spygate tapes. That's what it was.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they destroyed. Yeah, I know, dude. Think of it. They were actually caught cheating 3 times, and their owner was a part of a big massage parlor sting. Why is the whole organization still intact? Like nobody had to leave. No, I mean we had a suspension, we had a first round draft pick. Yay. You know what I mean? But where's the real repercussions? Why? How many times do you think Bill Belichick really was cheating? If we caught him 3 times, and maybe 4, I don't remember, 3 or 4 times. You know, like how many times do you think he really cheated? Like this guy, if Ross was so comfortable asking Flores to tank, he was going to throw him 100 G's for every game that he lost. How many times do you think he's had that conversation before? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like we need some swift punishment, but I feel like the NFL just wants to sweep it. They want to just do it. They just want to get it off the docket. That's all.
Yeah, I completely agree. Talking Jets with 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞 says, how's the baby girl? My boy was born on the 13th. Congratulations, 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞.
𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞 just had a kid too? Congrats.
𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞 just had a kid, had a baby boy. Congratulations. He says, it has been wonderful, a wonderful handful. Excited to introduce the 2 newest Jet fans to the crew. Yeah, can't wait. If you're going to be if you're going to be at the green and white scrimmage, I'll be there with Shay and Becca. They're not coming to week 1 though, but I'm excited to introduce Shay at some point. She's kind of flopping around. There's not really a whole lot of standing up right now. I guess I'll bring her on stream at some point.
Yeah.
But congratulations.
I love the name. I love the name, bro. I think you knocked it out of the park.
Sorless comes in, says, think JD inquires about Jenkins from the Bears. That's the tackle that they're apparently shopping. I think Joe Douglas is going to inquire about any and all players just to get a gauge on what their price would be. I don't think he'll necessarily pull the trigger because we spent the pick on Mitchell, and I think they'll want to see him. But dude, McDermott's been getting blown up by Lawson the last 2 days. So maybe they decide to pull the trigger on a swing tackle. I would like to see someone come in as a swing tackle because I don't really trust Edoga and I don't trust McDermott at this point, and Mitchell's just too young for me to be confident in him being the backup. So we'll see. Greenbean, you got any thoughts on the tackle position?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if we've learned anything about Joe Douglas, and it's hard to put a finger on him, right? Because he did do things pretty different, especially in the draft than we expected this year, with being more aggressive than we've seen. He's used to being acquiring picks. But what we've seen from him leads me to believe that he's going to bring in a veteran tackle. Now, does that mean that we're going to make a trade? Maybe not. Does that mean that he'll wait until the cuts start? Maybe there was a guy in last year's, later rounds of last year's draft that he really liked, and a team's gonna try to stuff him on waivers, and he's gonna go scoop him up. That stuff happens all the time. It's how we got Quincy Williams. It's how we got Tim
Braxton
Ward. Braxton Berrios, right? So we've done this before. And I feel pretty confident that Joe Douglas is going to look to secure the underneath of our tackle position. That said, I do think they're confident, and actions speak louder than words in Fant and Becton. So, I don't think they're looking for a starter, but that swing tackle can be just, invaluable to the team.
Knifey Spoony says, between Sauce, Wilson, JJ, and Hall, if you could pick one to become an immediate superstar, which one would have the biggest impact on our season? I think it's definitely going to be Breece Hall, just because of the position that he plays and because he's already got the tandem of Michael Carter back there. The offensive line should be, this is the first time we don't have rookies on the offensive line. These guys are playing together throughout camp. So I do think that he stands to have the biggest year. I think offensive rookie of the year is entirely in the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And I would say, not to be outdone is Sauce Gardner. Sauce is a freak. Watching some of his clips at camp, dude, he blitzed off the edge. He almost took down Zach in the end zone. This guy's fast and he's enormous. This guy legitimately looks like an alien. His arms are down to his knees. The guy's got 80-inch wingspan. I've never seen a human so I don't even know the right word. He's just big. He's just a large person. Really cool. He's an entire helmet above DJ Reed. This is a special specimen of a human.
Yeah. I know. It's funny hearing all the Jets fans talk about being surprised at how tall he is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, we knew
it's just
6'3",
funny.
but it's just like it's a big, like he's like under 200 pounds, and he's just like lanky and gangly. Like he almost reminds me of like a Kevin Durant looking sort of body. Like just he's too long for what like a human should look like, but he's so big that he's gonna be like his wingspan at 80 inches. Your wingspan is supposed to be roughly what your height is, and 80 inches. God, what is that? That's got to be like.
Is that true? Your
wingspan it's right around. It's close to
height?
it. It's like that's the ballpark for it. So like I'm 5'9", so my wingspan is roughly ish 5'9". But 80 inches. What does 80 inches work out in math? 6'8". Is that right?
Frankie, what's 80 inches mean?
What's 80 inches? Help us out, chat. What the hell's going on?
Let's see. 80 divided by 12. Let's say
72 is 6 foot.
8. Yeah, 72.
So 6'8". Yeah, 6'8". That's a big dude. That's 5 inches bigger than his height. That's a big guy.
Yeah, I mean the truth is that I really love long cornerbacks, like like the Cromartie type.
Yep.
And I really I like that. I think just that body style. It's not to say we can't love a little bit shorter and all that, but I really love that. But yeah, I mean, as far as excuse me, who's going to become an immediate superstar, I think getting the ball handed to you, 15, 20 times a game gives you a pretty good leg up on anybody else that you might be considering. So I think I'm with you, Breece Hall. I will admit I'm becoming increasingly frightened to talk about him in this way. Like my jinxitis is really flaring up the past 2 or 3 days, man. I don't know what it is. Like it's starting to happen. Like people are like, oh, fucking Breece Hall is going to be this. And I get like a little pang of nervousness instantly without planning or without thought. I'm like, oh no. So let's assume everybody's healthy. Okay. I think that Breece Hall's got the immediate leg up on getting a little bit more superstar capable field time. Now, like you said, Sauce is going to get tested week 1. Sauce is going to be tested right away, in my opinion. He's more than likely going to find himself on Bateman a little bit. And I think that Lamar Jackson is going to see what this rookie has. I mean, why wouldn't he? Everybody's going to want to do that. And so if that happens and he's as good as he's supposed to be out of the gate, dude, he comes away with a pick in his first game or a couple passes defensed or on third down, that kind of stuff. And he could be flying towards superstar as well.
100%. Steven says, the fact that Zach is definitely going against a much better defense this year and looking better than last year, to me, is a caveat to what's to come. So he's had, 2 rough practices. One was below 50%. I think it's only been 2 practices that have been like, out of Zach. Like he had some pretty good throws today from what I saw. Nothing to write home about. I actually didn't put him in my recap for today because it didn't seem good, didn't seem bad, just seemed like he was there. Like the wide receivers showed out. Like Elijah Moore had a filthy one-handed snatch today.
Yeah, I saw that. That was good.
Really nice.
Wasn't that Flacco? I think wasn't that Flacco maybe?
It was Flacco throwing it to him. And it was Garrett Wilson had a nice catch over the middle too. And then Denzel Mims had a nice catch.
Denzel Mims, yeah.
Yeah, Mims was actually, so he had a really nice catch at the welcome back practice as well. And then today, he was actually working out with the special teams unit. He was like practicing being a gunner, or I guess defending a gunner. Gunner's the offensive side of the special teams, I think, or is it the defensive side of the special teams? I think I've just always
gunner is the gunner is the guy on the kicking team. That's the gunner. He's
okay, so what's chasing. The opposing guy? He was the opposing dude.
The blocker, I guess.
Would he just be a corner or a blocker? Yeah, that's where he was.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
I don't know. That's interesting.
It was weird seeing him.
Hey, I wanna tell you, Frankie from Flatbush commented. I'm gonna re-comment it. He says 33.875-inch arm length is in the 100th percentile for cornerbacks. So Sauce is off the charts any way you slice it. It's pretty
Dude,
good.
he's so big. It's like it's really, really fun to like just see what this guy it just looks like on the field. Like he's so much bigger than Elijah Moore. Like Elijah Moore's not a big guy by any stretch of the imagination, but like completely blankets him. Like this is going to be a really impressive corner right out of the gate. I didn't think that was going to be the case. I thought there was going to be some growing pains and whatnot. And I'm sure there's going to be, but if there's any situation where he's guarding the number 2 wide receiver and now, you know, Reed has his guy locked down over there, he's going to be snatching balls away. Like I think 3.5 is the good over under for his interceptions. And I'm taking the over on this year based on like just his sheer freak athleticism. The only way he won't get it is if the Jets offense is so anemic that the opposing defense doesn't necessarily have to throw the ball to score points.
3.5, I would like that too. I mean, it's tough to just jump right there, right? Like we haven't seen a guy with 3.5 interceptions, and I don't know. Maybe Frankie knows this. When's the last person we had with 3.5 picks or more in a season? Like I don't even know. But so it's hard to jump from like no one in 10 years to all of a sudden having it. But
who would it be? Would it be like
build, right?
like a Desir or something like that? Like, did he have like a weird, wonky kind of not a good year, but just sort of caught some interceptions? I'm trying to think. Like, it's got to be a few years because we didn't have like any turnovers for a while.
It wasn't Tremaine Johnson. It wasn't Jamal Adams. Maybe Marcus May. Marcus May might have did that.
He might have had it.
Marcus May might have did that. Why is below 500 without Brady talking about trading Mims to the Pats, no less?
Nah, that's not happening,
buddy. Yeah,
I would not send that there.
You'd have to give me a first for that.
Mumtaz says, I love that Garrett Wilson was unhappy he was open in the end zone and didn't get the ball and went and talked to Zach about it. He may help Zach get better. Look, I have no problem with the wide receivers kind of chirping a little bit if they're clearly right. Like it seems like the Jets had a little bit of there was a little bit of frustration this practice because of pre-snap penalties on the offense inside their own 10. So apparently LaFleur got a little animated. So it wasn't like a great day for the offense overall, but Garrett Wilson has been like shifty. He's been getting open. He's making a lot of catches over the middle. I saw him practicing returning a punt again. I don't want to see that. Put Berrios on punt return. He's all pro. No reason to risk Garrett Wilson.
Hell no. I agree, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's not even worth playing around with. Your emergency guy should be somebody else. Like, okay, so Berrios or whoever and whoever you want to do. I mean, well, Berrios is more, was he punt and return and kick return? Berrios? For some reason, I feel like
I think he was punt and kick.
Yeah, sure. I think, just leave Berrios. If you're looking for somebody more dynamic, don't have it be your first round pick starting wide receiver, please. Not now. Wait till we have a couple years with lower injuries or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, let me say this, and I'm afraid to say it. You know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm afraid.
Okay, good. Don't say it.
Talk injuries. Yeah, I'm not.
RJ comes in and says, hey, Green Bean, did you see your boy Kyle Hamilton get cooked on that video at training camp? Did you see this, Green Bean? I'm sure someone sent it to you.
So I hope he fucking looks week one. I'm not a fan of his anymore. What are you kidding me? I want him to suck the biggest of balls. That's what I want. Believe me, man. Screw that guy.
I watched that, and dude, he got caught so flat-footed, like burnt by like 10 yards easy, like could not recover. Now, that being said, he's not going to be in press man coverage on a receiver. It's just not going to happen. You don't draft a 6'4" safety to do that. You put him deep, and you let him ball hawk.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you look, that was the hot clip, but there was a couple of clips right before that where he was like closing people down and all that sort of stuff. Somebody sent me. But and again, dude, it's practice. We don't know what they got him working on. You know what I mean? We don't know. We're just looking at it like, he sucks. Dude, again, I hope that's the case. That would be the version of him I'd love to see week one. Like, just send Elijah Moore streaking, and he takes a bad angle and looks like he gained 40 pounds and he's lumbering all slowly behind him. I would love nothing more. Believe me. But again, it's like it's taking things out of context. We don't know what it is. But I saw it. I did.
Edward Ziff drops in, says, MLB disciplines way better than NFL. Money corrupts. Yeah, look, the MLB suspended what's-his-face for 2 years on a sexual assault charge, and Watson's getting 6 games. Like, it's the NFL has done such a horrible job policing themselves across. Like, what did Ray Rice originally get? Was it 1 game or 2 games for cold cocking his girlfriend? And then the video came out and they're like, oh yeah, no, that guy can't play again. Like, we had the tape. They saw it. But they're like, oh, now everyone else saw it. Now he can't play.
Yeah. Dude, look, and on one hand, honestly, like, just being a realist, right? I can understand why they would want to shut all that shit down. But how great is it that finally we're able to see the truth of things? You know what I mean? Like, because look, 20 years ago, we didn't have cameras everywhere, all this kind of stuff. And we would just believe it. There'd be maybe a couple fans somewhere arguing about what's right and what's wrong, but we wouldn't know. Now we know, and we can see how the NFL actually responds to things. So we know who we're dealing with. But, look, I get they're trying to maintain, this is a multi-billion-dollar operation. They're trying to keep that rolling. That's their number one goal. It's pretty much their only goal. They player safety, all the yes. But their only goal is to keep the billions rolling in. They expand every year. They added Yahoo and Amazon and all the, they're just bringing on more people so they can make more and more money. If there's an opportunity to sweep something under the rug for these guys, I have to believe that they're going to try and do it.
Yeah. Joshua McMillan says Josh Gordon suspended 76 games for smoking weed. Like, that's when you put it next to some of the other suspensions, it's just so asinine. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Like, I get, like, Josh Gordon broke the rules of the NFL multiple times. Like, he's a dum-dum for doing that. But then when you go back and you look at it, like, wait, this guy smoked pot and lit up the league.
It wasn't just weed, though. It wasn't just weed.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I wrote an article about Josh Gordon addiction in the NFL. I planned to write a whole bunch more, but nobody gave 2 shits about it, so I didn't feel like working on it any longer. That's the truth. But I feel like I feel like the NFL completely mismanaged that poor young kid, man. I mean, you have addiction is real. Obviously, I mean, this is my soapbox, right? I don't want to take over the show, but I feel like the NFL completely mismanaged an opportunity like Josh Gordon, and they don't know what they're doing because they don't care. Believe me, I worked with colleges. Like, where do I live, right? You know where I live. You know where I live next to. There's a big school. There's a couple big schools here, some bigger than others, but I got JMU, I got UVA, all these schools, and I worked in the addiction field, and I worked with some of those schools, most of them. And believe me when I tell you, I have been told by very, very high up people in that side of things, we will never, if somebody has an addiction problem, we will never let it out, and we will never ruin their opportunity. This is how they look at it. We will never ruin their opportunity by putting something negative out. So they're saying, we don't want to ruin, people to think negatively about them. But really what they're saying is, if we have a good player here, we're not going to ruin the chance of keeping that good player for getting him healthy. And that's what it was. That was my job. I was trying to get them, when people suffer from addiction, send them to me and we can help them and work with you and all that. They wanted nothing to do with it, man. None.
It's tough. Right? The stigma around addiction, I think, has started to change in the last 10 years. I know my views on it have definitely changed. When I was going through high school, there was kids that had gotten into some rough stuff, and I just took it as like, oh, you're a bad person, you're an asshole for doing this. But a lot of them wound up, they had medical issues where they got prescribed medication, pills, like Oxycontin or Vicodin or something, got hooked, and then it just kind of kept going into other stuff, and they're trapped in this cycle. And it took me a bunch of years to really wrap my head around that whole idea. So I think it's good that stigma is starting to go away, but we're still a long way from where we need to be.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. But that's the thing. Most people thought like that. Like, look, man, when I'm running around stealing a car or whatever, because I absolutely need to get what I need to get. So, how do you not look at me like that? You know what I mean? And it took a very, very long time for the world to entertain the idea that like a guy like Josh Gordon, he's not doing this because he's a piece of shit. He can't stop. Like that's what it is. So, but yeah, I mean, the original comment, look at how much he got, even if it was heroin, 76 games for heroin versus 6 games for potentially abusing 24 women. I don't see the comparison. You know what I mean? I think it's ridiculously lopsided.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. Boys and girls, we got a whole bunch of you in the chat. If you want to get entered to win a t-shirt at the end of this stream, all you have to do is head over to Twitter and retweet the stream. That's all you got to do. Maybe drop a like on it. But yeah, retweet the stream. The only people that are going to be qualified tonight are the people that retweet the stream. I'm not
collecting any names, right?
You're not collecting any names.
Okay.
I mean, we appreciate the likes because it helps the video, but the anyone that's going to get picked tonight, specifically, all you have to do is retweet the stream on Twitter. It's on my Twitter page. You'll find it when you go over there. But all you got to do is retweet it, trying to get some love out to the masses. Now, once Green Bean comes back, I got a good question for him. Not a really good question, but I want to talk about it. Let me know when you're ready.
Am I freeze beaning today? Somebody
you got
said
a little bit of freeze bean. And I almost eliminated the freeze bean from the emoji. And I was like, I'm going to leave it because I really like people writing the word titties. But now I have an I in MILF, so now I don't really need it. But if you guys don't know, and I'm sure all of you do, because we were all sitting there last week when our boy Green Bean went live with one Connor Hughes. And if you did not see the interview, I highly, highly recommend you go watch it because it was something special. Green Bean did a great job interviewing Hughes. I thought you didn't pull any punches. I thought you asked questions that were respectful, but hard-hitting. And I thought Hughes, dude, I'm not going to lie, way more respect for Hughes than I ever had prior. I'm a big fan of his now, the way he answered all those questions.
Yeah, well, look, I have to be honest, too. I mean, I was impressed by the willingness to answer it. I mean, sometimes there was a little dancey, but I don't think he ever danced too far away from the original point. And again, I'm just glad and I respect the way that he reached out to me and the conversations that we had. He owned it, man. He basically said like, look, this should have never got here and fucking, so I respect that. But, again, I asked him stuff. I mean, like, I'm not going to be, some guys were like, tell him he's a this, I'm like, I'm not going to tell him he's a nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that, but I wanted to at least dig into that. And I thought I thought it was fun, man. I enjoyed doing it. And I thought that he did a good job. That's my honest thoughts about it,
Now, without giving too much away about the interview, because I do want people to go over there and watch it if they haven't watched it. What was let's say your biggest takeaway that you had that maybe you didn't realize?
Well, I think we all kind of knew, and like even on, we've talked about it here and I've talked about it on the Thursday show with Frankie and the boys. Like we know that agents are the source for a lot of the, a lot of the information, the signings and all that. But to the degree that it is, I was unaware. Maybe I never thought about it. But like the idea that, like the Shefties and the Rappaports of the world, if they see an agent giving someone else a tip, a nugget, there will be backlash to it. I didn't realize that it could be so tense, and so tenuous. Really, I just never imagined that it was like that. Like I was very critical over the beat not being able to break a single story. And at least on player acquisition stuff, I think I have a better understanding of what that world is really like than I thought. I still think that there's plenty of news that could come out of the Jets and plenty of tidbits that the beat could get if the organization respected them more as a whole. I still believe that. But at the same time, I didn't realize, when he talked about the $2,000 bottles of scotch and all that kind of shit, that when the agent does give a nugget to someone else, there's actually backlash for it. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Something I didn't realize went on, but something that he brought up in that interview was, I believe it was a few years back when Alshon Jeffrey was trying to sign a contract, and Alshon Jeffrey was reaching out to Schefter to find out what other guys were going to be getting and what should Jeffrey be looking to get. And because of that exchange of information, Jeffrey's agent told him, hey, you're going to get the scoop for passing that along. So it's a you scratch my back, I scratch yours, which makes perfect sense. But I didn't realize to what degree it went on.
Yeah, and that's what I think, like, for me, like, it's not to say that we didn't. I mean, any educated fan, like, look, guys like us, the guys in the chat, like most of us, we're diggers, like we look for we're trying to consume as much as we can. A lot of us have been around a while. So I don't think we were completely ignorant to that fact. But again, like in the same way, in the same vein as what you just said, I thought that there were layers to it that I didn't realize. Or maybe I just never considered. I just, I thought, man, fuck up. You can get your fucking scoop. What is this bullshit? Like, that's what I thought. But turns out that might not be the case. And that's assuming everything he said was on the level. I mean, I think it was. I took it as that. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like there was a bunch of baloney being thrown at us. I felt like he was answering good. But yeah, that was a big one. And, the idea that if you get a scoop, people are mad at the agent and then won't work with the agent in the future or whatever it might be. That was interesting. Like the Shefties and the Rappaports of the world, dude, they got it on lock. He said even the Pierre Desir signing, which was a nothing signing by comparison, they got mad at him for that. They don't even want these little guys, like the beat guys, to have that. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. Hughes was the one that broke the Desir signing. I think that he was saying that was his first big break that he did, if I'm not mistaken. And he got a lot of heat for it. And he actually went back to his guy and was like, hey, I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought I did the right thing. And I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Hold
on. Boys and girls, I love seeing all the different words that you've been able to come up with in the chat using all the letters. Lift sets, bruh. That was a good one.
Lift set.
Stiffies.
Oh, that's good.
I should have added more letters. Oh, God, a while ago.
Yeah, so you only had now. Do you have all the letters now? Did you put the whole alphabet in there, or just a few?
No, I didn't. So you can, based on how many members you have on your channel, you're given a certain amount of emojis that you're allowed to add. So since we have, I don't know, 100 some odd members, we have a certain amount of emojis to work with. And I'd have to look at what the next threshold is. It starts out small, so that way you can get a good amount of them, and then it starts getting wider and wider margins. So if you guys want more emojis, all you gotta do is become a member of the channel, and my ass will sit and make them. I want to I fine-tuned it a little bit. I removed the F-bomb. I removed the nuclear mushroom cloud, the Zach Wilson head, the Jets helmet, and I think I removed the Douglas Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm pretty sure. But what's cool is throughout the season is as we get to each one of the games, I'll change the emojis to be relevant for that week's game. I did it with the Pats. I have some FUCK Pats in there. So those are fun when we did that. It's a good time. Johnny's got the eject button. Love it.
Yeah, I still think my favorite. I mean, I'm seeing there's some good. This is good, But my favorite is still just straight up tits with the freeze beam. That's or
I
titties.
love the first time. I think it was. I don't know who the first one was. I want to say it was. Oh God, I think he's in here right now. I thought it was. God, the name is escaping me right now, and I'll find it in 2 seconds because I'm almost positive I saw him in here. Oh, maybe not.
Maximilian doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Maximilian. He's upset.
What? Where's Maximilian?
He says he wants us to grow up in the chat. Come on, man.
Oh, come on.
I like.
We're talking about a child's game. This is all about fun and games.
This is about being children, right? I like that. That was a good. That's a good little. That's a good angle, Ryan. Like we're all here taking a child game seriously.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest thing. When you look back at everything, it's like these guys get paid millions of dollars to play a kid's game.
Yeah.
And like I like the players that try not to lose that enthusiasm, because I think when you go to work that long and that hard and you're putting your body on the line, it is a job. But I do think that there's something to it. I like the guys that love the game. Not that I don't like the guys that play the game just to play the game. Like Curtis Martin was one of those guys. I don't think he ever loved the game. He was there to get out of a shitty situation. And I respect the guys that do that too. Like that's totally what it's here for as well. But there's something special about a guy that like, kind of like the way we view Ruckert, and we hope I think he is this kind of guy, but he's playing football in his front yard. He's pretending he's Wayne Corbett, the local kid. And now the kids now are going to be thinking they're Jeremy Ruckert, being the local kid catching balls for his favorite team. So like that side of things is really cool to kind of see. Jets NY says, Ryan, how was the environment / vibe at camp? It was electric. I haven't been to a camp. I didn't go last year, I don't think. I think the last time I went was before COVID. And that camp wasn't open to the public. It was like I got tickets to go to it because of where I work. And it was very laid back. So this was the first time I really got to go to a good training camp in a long time. But the music was blaring. The rookies were jumping up and down. They had right in front of where we were sitting. Now, obviously, the bleachers stretched the whole length of the field, so you could be all over the place. I was sitting at like the 20-yard line on one end of the field where all the DBs were, specifically the corners. And watching Sauce like right in front of you with DJ Reed, with Dunn, with Hall, with Eccles, like all these guys right there. You're seeing Sauce do like all these different drills, and it's like they park the Ferrari right in front. They're like, we're going to put this specimen on display. Like that's what it was. Because the Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, all those guys on the far side, like one football field over. So you couldn't even watch them until they got to like the actual like 11 on 11s and that sort of stuff. So like the Jets, while it's smart they do that with the offense anyway, but like, dude, they had Sauce front and center. They were showing off their new toy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, I got to say, I'm happy you were able to make it. I wish I could make it to a practice. I haven't been to a practice, man, honestly, since Hofstra. That was the last time I was at I used to go every year, but the last one I went to was at Hofstra. I've never been to Florham Park. Now I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but before the Jets bought and built that big facility in Florham Park, the Giants used to practice there. And they practiced at Fairleigh Dickinson University. So the Giants would practice there. And I've gone to see the Giants practice a few times too, because it was close. I remember LT and all those guys. But yeah, I haven't been to any Jets practice at Florham Park yet. And that's sad.
Yeah, it's sad to see that. I don't like that.
I want to go.
I don't know why Greg's super chat's not popping up, so I just had to comment what he actually said in it. So Greg drops in, he says, are we still in play for upgrading the secondary? I would be very surprised if we made like a move for Jesse Bates, like a lot of Jet fans would like to see happen. I mean, that would be a home run of a move, but you're giving up a high draft pick for a guy that you cannot re-sign until after the year, so you're going to have to franchise tag him. Like, I'm sorry. I'm rolling this die, and I'm going to say, hey, let's keep our young guys. Let's see how Pinnock develops. Let's see how Ashton Davis develops. LaMarcus Joyner probably won't be on this team beyond this year. He's a little bit older, hasn't played in hasn't played this position in like 3 years.
Yeah, totally.
So like I do think he winds up being gone. But then going into this offseason, what are our biggest needs, Green Bean? I think it's linebacker. I think it's safety. And I think it's center. And if Jesse Bates is hitting free agency, we have Carl Lawson on this team, his former teammate. We have CJ Uzama, his former teammate. I think there's a halfway decent chance if Joe Douglas ponies up some money that he could lock down Jesse Bates, but it depends on how we view some of the other pieces. Like, I think it would be moving on from CJ Mosley and drafting a linebacker, drafting a center, bringing in someone like Bates. But again, it depends. It depends how everything shakes out. Maybe Bates has a horrible year and we're not thinking as highly of him as we were now.
Totally possible, right? That happens all the time. But I think I agree with you. I don't know if we're going to be. I mean, we have 9 million. Well, we just signed Quan, so we have like 8 million in cap space right now, and I'm sure we can make a few cuts. I'm sure there's some ways to do some stuff, but we have under $10 million left in cap space. I don't know if I see the Jets doing anything that aggressive. Like, let's say they said, hey, you can have him for a fourth or a fifth and something like that, and you could just pay him. Maybe, but I don't know, man. I think, just like you said in the beginning, I think we go into this season in large part with what we have now. And, we move some stuff around during waiver cuts and all that kind of stuff. But this is pretty much the team we're going to have, barring some freak injuries and some panic moves or something. But I think next year we go into the offseason with linebacker, safety, center as the weaknesses, the glaring weakness. Hopefully it's not quarterback. Hopefully it's not like, a lot of the wide receivers or, we look like we did a pretty good job bolstering a lot of the positions, but linebacker, center, and safety, I think are the ones that I'm thinking are going to be our weak spots.
Keith drops in and says, is Zach good at camp or is the defense just awesome? I think it's a little bit of both. I do think Zach is getting better. I think he's going to get more comfortable. Now, that said, the camp where all the fans were at to return, the welcome back camp, he did not look good. He had a rough day. He was under 50% passing for the day. There was a few passes that I think he got credited as, obviously an incompletion, but I think Hughes did blame him for one throw towards Elijah Moore, and it looked more like Elijah Moore may have lost the ball, because it wasn't like egregiously far away by any means, but it was just like he just didn't turn the right way. I don't know. I have faith that Zach is going to perform well. I think having the tight ends, having the running game is all really good. Now, I would say the average amount of throws that he's making in 11 on 11s is a little alarming. I think he's averaging like 7 throws per practice. In 11 on 11s, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw that written somewhere. Whereas, I think Patrick Mahomes, when he came into the league, they had him taking every snap, throwing 40 plus times in practice, because you're going to get this out of your system. You're just going to keep practicing. And I think there's probably some of it is probably, hey, Joe Flacco knows how to run the offense. We can grade the rest of the team accurately, which does help us grade Zach. But I also think Zach is going against a significantly improved defense this year compared to where it was just last year. 32nd ranked corners, there's no way we're going to be ranked that low this year. Edge rusher's gone. Well, we got him back now. This is a very different defense than it was just 365 days ago.
Well, listen, I look, we overreact to training camp stuff, and there are days that we don't see, right? So the fans are there one day, you got the press there one day, and then there's portions of practice that we don't see. Look, overreacting to the first week of training camp, I don't think is something I really want to that I really want to get involved in too much with everybody. Like, we freak out, it's bad, or it's the best, whatever it is. But that said, one of my largest concerns for this year is our coaching staff. I mean, look, they gave us some reasons to feel okay at the end of the year, like they were learning. That's great. I'm not saying I'm negative on them, but we don't know how Robert Saleh is as a head coach. We don't know how LaFleur, how able-bodied is he to run the right kind of practice to develop a young quarterback and all. Like, we don't know. So I don't know if they're making him throw too little. I don't know if they're doing it perfectly. I really just don't know if they're doing anything the right way. So I think we're going to see. That all said, I think that Zach is a what was that? Did you laugh?
Sorry.
What was that?
I don't know how long ago this was, but I saw Knobcraft had a really funny letters. Go back in the live chat and pull it up. I almost fell over.
Well, whatever it was, Knobcraft, you almost killed our boy here.
Oh my God,
I don't see it.
Oh, and then Mark Riss says Samini sits on beans, on freeze beans.
Oh, I saw that one. That was good.
So it's just a few below. I'm not going to say it out loud because there's probably kids here. But oh man, it's a funny one.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay,
you got it?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you guys are creative.
Yeah, but so anyway, just to close my point, it's just I'm not too worried. We've literally seen 1 week of training camp. We don't know what I mean? We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're working on. We don't know what they're evaluating, or we don't know. So I think Zach is going to be fine. And I'll tell you exactly why. He's a super strong-armed quarterback. He's got all the athleticism that you want, like the arm strength, the legs. He has elite escapability, right? We know these things. We know it. We also know that he's a bookworm. Like, we know his class room aspect of him is second to none. First guy in, last guy out, so to speak. And we know that he settled in last year and he completely removed turnovers, and he had no real guys to speak of. His offensive line was decimated. He had no skill guys. Everybody was hurt, and he still looked better. And it's his second year in the system. So I think we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. The only thing we have to do is protect him. If we can do that, we're going to be fine. And the running game helps with that. And obviously the tight ends, when, if things are going, we got to be able to spread this defense out a little bit. And I think that we're going to see a Zach Wilson that is calmer and more collected. So training camp, it is what it is right now, but I think he's going to be fine.
Andrew Yale says defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. I don't know if you saw this green bean, but it said Coke with a little something extra in it. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something along those lines. Like Coke's good, but Coke with a little bit extra in it is better. And I think I don't know if he's talking about like powdered cocaine in Coca-Cola originally, or if he's talking about like liquor.
He's talking about Jack and Coke or rum and Coke.
Okay, that's where I thought he was going with it. But yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
I didn't see it, but I wouldn't worry. But were people getting all freaked out about it? I must have missed that one.
Oh no, I think Andrew Yale is just he's laughing about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just didn't know. I didn't see that one. Sounds like a Jack and Coke or a rum and Coke reference to me.
What else we got? I saw another one in here. Mark Riss says, Ryan's going to remove the letters after tonight. I am not. I'm having way too much fun with these letters. Way too many combos. Those are staying. Or next week, Ryan will start a chat Scrabble and leave random letters and have us type. That's what I should do. I should leave random letters in there and see. We should pick someone who comes up with like the funniest like letter combo using stuff. There's some good ones. NY Jet 102 says, we must win week 1. That Patriot game still lingers. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It was rough.
Which one?
It ended really fast. The Patriots home opener last year. That
Oh,
ended
right
fast.
on. Yeah, because it's a home opener. Yeah, totally. We gotta just we gotta come out, man. The thing that I feel like is literally most important is we need this to be the first year in forever that the team we've built in the offseason actually shows up for week one. That's what we need. If we do that, we're gonna give Baltimore plenty to handle. Trust me.
Dude, I
It's all
really
about health.
think I just want to hang with Baltimore. Like don't get me wrong, I want to win, but if we can hang with Baltimore, especially if we're putting up a lot of points, like let's say this is like a 35-28 shootout and the Jets wind up losing on a last second drive because Lamar Jackson just outruns a gassed defense after a whole thing, a whole game. That's an okay way to lose that game, in my opinion. Obviously, you don't want to give up a ton of points, but hanging with the Ravens, I think, is while there's no moral victories, I would be all right with that given the firepower that team has overall.
Yeah, well, of course, right? I mean, that's the thing. The Ravens, now, they were decimated by injuries last year, too. I love seeing them all complain and wow. Like, yeah, welcome to our entire fucking last decade. Yeah, but if we, so they were finally hurt, and you see, they didn't make the playoffs and all that sort of stuff. But the truth is that they are one of the better run franchises in the NFL. They are routinely up among the better teams, and they have an MVP level quarterback with tons of tools and stuff around him. So again, I think our real chance is coming out and hitting them a little bit harder than maybe they expect. Week one is prime real estate for these kinds of upsets. And if we're a better team than we have been, I think that we can do that. But again, like you said, if we end up losing the game because the Ravens are a better team at this point in our build, then it is what it is. But I will not be happy if we have to endure a 35-7 game or something like that. That's the kind of stuff that would really upset me. Like I'm tired of that. I'm done with it. And we spend all year building this team. Joe Douglas has done an exceptional job, getting rid of the garbage, cleaning the cap, and getting talented guys in here, young, talented players. We have them. Our coach needs to be able to use them.
Yo, it's Vin says, chance our draft is close to the 2017 Saints. That would be incredible. That was the Marcus Williams, Alvin Kamara, Ryan Ramczyk, and who else they'd get? Lattimore? I think they got Lattimore in there too. I think it was 4 like rock solid guys. That would be incredible. It'd be absolutely awesome. If you can get 4 players in the top, 2 rounds, basically all 4 first round picks.
Wait,
I think Ramczyk was like a third. The Saints in 2017, they drafted, I think Kamara was in the 3rd round. I think Ramczyk was in the 4th, or maybe vice versa. Marcus Williams might have been, 2nd round. I don't know. They drafted like 4 guys that were really, really good, that were like key to them almost making a Super Bowl. And it's like the core of their team. This draft and last draft, these 2 together, should be the core of our team moving forward.
Agreed. Now, but then again, you look at the Ravens draft. I know, like, we're very happy, and we should be with our draft, right? We really should be. It was an exceptionally managed draft, like exceptionally well managed. The players, we got some really premium level talent from the draft. But dude, the Ravens just sat there, and they got Kyle Hamilton, Linderbaum. They got in the 2nd round, they went and grabbed Ojabo because they don't need him right away, and he's the perfect team for them to just. And then they had 6 4th round picks. They got tight ends like Isaiah Likely, and who was the other one? I forget. I mean, dude, they knocked it out of the park. So they're bringing on a bunch of young talent too, and they already have a. Look, let's be real. They have a leg up. You know what I mean? They've been here for a long time. We're trying to get into that tier But the truth is that we can beat them. We can beat anybody on any given day. But not only that, it's our home, it's home. It's our home opener. Jets fans are going to be nuts. And if we can be healthy, the energy in there is going to be sick. And we just have to take advantage of that, man. Got to play smart. If we do, we keep their offense off the ball. I'm sorry, offense off the field. We can do it. It's real.
I knew what you meant. We just got to run the ball, right? Like if Breece Hall and Michael Carter, if they could combine for 150 to 200 yards, we win that game. I think if this is a game where we can't run the ball, if they stop our run and they force Zach to throw it, and now their healthy corners come into play, Kyle Hamilton comes into play, and Zach's inexperience or maybe nervousness at times, I think then it could be a big issue. We run the ball. I think we have a good shot at winning because we're shortening the game and we're keeping the ball out of Lamar's hands. The best thing we could do to Lamar is keep him on the sideline and get cold.
Yeah. Look, all we have to really do is take away, like, if our defense, again, is healthy, if we're healthy and we have the defense that we built, they are young, they are fast, they are aggressive, and they're smart. If we can, like, take away the passing game, right, and they try to just be one-dimensional and they try to run, and we, like guys like Jordan Whitehead and C.J. Mosley can keep that contained, dude, we got a chance. The only thing is we have to have somebody making sure that Lamar Jackson doesn't beat you all by himself. I think we can hang with their receivers. I really do. I mean, we haven't seen our guys, but I think we have the talent to hang with their passing game. We have to just focus on Lamar Jackson and the running game. And if we can do that, and again, keep their offense off the field, Ryan, like if we can just, long drives. We have Breece Hall. We got the tight ends. We got Elijah Moore. We got Garrett. Well, like we have the potential of being able to maintain long, sustaining drives. If we can do that, we can win the game.
Absolutely. Kevin mentions the Saints also got Trey Hendrickson in that draft. And 𝐒𝐿 says they wound up winning offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year. I didn't realize that was their wombo combo. Stud City says Davenport as well. I don't remember if Davenport was that year or the year after. I think that was the year after because I think they traded up to get him, if memory serves correct. Yeah.
I have to go use the restroom. I'm not going to make it another 30 minutes. I got to be.
That is all right. That is fine.
Yeah,
I will
right
talk
back
to the chat.
Yeah.
And I will see what they got going on. So what are you guys doing in here? What's going on? What's the good word on the in the chat? Duncan says we have to pick up and stop the screen this year. We got killed last year on 3rd and 18. 1 yard screen went for 27. That was probably my biggest issue with this defense overall. Like, I'm fine with getting beat over the top with no safeties, with no corners. But we had our starting linebackers. We had, enough starting defensive linemen that we should have been able to stop some of that. And the fact that we did not is a little irritating. So hopefully that gets better. Guys, if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. And if you'd like to get entered into our t-shirt giveaway, we're doing something a little different tonight. All you have to do is head over to my Twitter and retweet the stream. Trying to get this out here to as many people as possible. So if you want to get into that, all you got to do is hit retweet. I have a button over here that YouTube keeps wanting me to hit. And I apologize. It's for an ad, but I haven't ever tried this before. So I kind of want to try it. So while Green Bean's taking a bathroom break, I'm going to hit this button and see what it does exactly. And then I'll be right back. And maybe nothing happened. I don't think anything happened. I'm still talking. All right. Well, that doesn't work. So we'll see. Oh, sorry. Or maybe there's an ad and I'm just not seeing it. I don't think there is. I think it's just going. An ad was posted. 5-second ad. Oh, did I really get an ad? No way. I have no idea how this works. Sorry, YouTube throws these weird things at me, and I just tried to give it a chance. It launched an ad. Did it really? No way. Well, I guess that makes sense. That's what it was telling me it would do. What else we got going on here? Michael. What am I clicking on? I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Oh, see, I'm clicking on the chat, not clicking on my normal. Michael LaMountain says, how's fatherhood treating you, Ryan? It's pretty good. It's a lot of fun. So I've got Shay's bouncer in the corner right here. So when I'm editing videos late at night or doing anything for the stream, she's posted up over there. Right now she's downstairs watching The Bachelorette with Becca and her friend. So she's doing all that good stuff. So Green Bean doesn't have his headset on yet. I'll tell him once he comes in.
Hello?
Hey. So there's a button when you go live. I don't know if you knew this, Green Bean. It just flashed on my screen. It's like a $sign thing up in the top right, and it says click here to insert ad. And I was like, I don't know how this works, so I'm gonna hit this button and see what happens. What happened? And everyone's like, oh, ad. I was like, well, okay, I guess it makes sense. I guess it put in an ad while we're live, because I guess the thought process is probably like, oh, there's a 400 some.
Oh, is that what it was? When I came back from here, there was an ad, like, because I run the stream in the background, right?
So no way.
So yeah, I run the YouTube page in the background so I can chat with the guys in real time. So when I came back, there was an ad on, and I thought to myself, that's weird.
Right?
Yeah, interesting. So you literally manually put in an ad.
I got a little flash at the corner that said like add an ad. And I was like, I'm curious what it does, because like I've never clicked that button before. Yeah, now I know. That's annoying. All right, well, I promise, guys, I won't click that button again while we're live. That's only for after the fact. You guys get the ad-free stuff because you're all hanging out with us live, aside from maybe the occasional ad read. We'll see.
Yeah, right.
That's what you get for free content.
Wow, look how long. On the YouTube thing, I literally just got back.
There's a delay. Well, you also have, so you have like the ad. What's odd though, I didn't get to see an ad on my because I have the thing playing in the studio, and I would have thought they'd throw something there, but it just showed me going like, huh, I guess nothing happened. Like there was no lead in, there was no nothing. It was just boom, ad, I guess. Didn't tell me how long it was. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you guys, it wasn't number 2. I didn't go number 2. I went number 1.
I was going to say that would be impressive.
Yeah. That's reserved for my private time. Dude. That's the only fucking alone time I get in this world.
Dude, my dad used to sit in the bathroom for like the longest time, and he'd have a newspaper or whatever and just hang out in there, and it was his alone time. Before I even had a kid, Beck was like, "Why the hell you take so long in there?" I was like, "Just surfing the internet." I'm just hanging out alone with my thoughts.
Because people, generally speaking, people leave you alone when you're in there. So, it's just that that nice space. It's nice in there.
It's like at work, right? Like they have apps called Paid to Poop, and you can clock. Oh yeah, dude, you didn't hear about this? So they got apps called like Paid to Poop, and you can clock in. You can put in your hourly wage, and you clock in when you go to the bathroom, and you clock out. So that way, over the course of a year, you can see how much money you made for taking a dump. Mama always told you never do something for free that you do well.
So if you were like at work, you add up all the times that you went to the bathroom and they paid you, and you can see how much you did for free.
Yep.
I love it. That's
right?
awesome.
It's a pretty funny idea.
I love it. Yeah, Jerome Stack says green bean was the water cold. That's a good joke. That's a urinal joke though. You go, oh, the water's cold.
Cold and deep.
At a urinal, cold and deep. Right.
You say that when you're peeing in the snow. It's like, ooh, that snow's deep.
That's the old bathroom humor. Yeah,
that's
that's
amazing.
Yeah.
See, Emanon gets it. He goes, that's why they call it the rest room.
That's right. Take a break. Right, Emanon? Take a little break.
Yeah, is it weird? Like, is a restroom like all bathrooms and then not all bathrooms or not all restrooms are bathrooms because not all of them have baths?
Well, right. That's why when you go out to like a mall or a stadium, it's a restroom, not a bathroom. Imagine that. You went into MetLife and there was 3 baths on the side. Would you get in one?
Ugh, no way. Not a chance in hell. That is gnarly. That's like
I'd get in. You got to share it with somebody though. 3 people max in the tub.
Michael says, please don't eat the big white mint. The bar of soap.
Made that mistake.
Ugh. Nasty.
No, he's talking about the urinal cake.
Oh, that's not a big white thing. That's usually like a
big white mint. Yeah.
What? No way.
Urinal cake.
Oh. Okay. I know exactly. So the ones we use are like the I say we like it's my house. Not we like my job. We have like the scented rubber ones that are in there. So it smells nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like why do we need urinal cakes in the first place? Like can we not just flush it and deal with a little urine smell? Like what is it?
That's a little stanky. There's nothing wrong with a little deodorant in the toilet. I have I think it's funny that people or businesses will place like a fly or a mark on a urinal because guys always try to pee on the fly. Like if you told me I could go to the bathroom at a urinal and it looked like one of those fucking carnival games with like that you got to raise the thing up to the top and then a bell rings.
Oh my god. Totally.
It'd be incredible.
Play it every time.
I would drink so much water.
Well, so you have a daughter, but when you have a son, when you're potty training, that's one of the tactics. You make it a game. You put things in there so the kid actually wants to pee in there. Oh yeah. Well,
I wonder if my parents did that for me.
No, it was it's a little like pretty much it's a relatively newer concept, at least as far as the world knowing. But let me tell you, there was a comedian I saw years and years ago, even before I was a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed so hard at this, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, I couldn't hear. It rang true so strongly. He said, the difference between men and women is that women will clean a toilet. Men try to piss the stain away.
Oh, it's so true.
I laughed so hard. I'd never heard. I was like, I couldn't handle my girlfriend at the time's like, you okay?
That's kind of gross. I can't believe you would do that. It's like, no, like the best part of the game. I don't have to get my hands dirty and I'm having fun. Playing with a little fire hose.
Yeah, you want exactly. Like you said, if it was a carnival game and it went up, what would be good if we can connect all of our toilets and like at the end of the week. Yeah, like your toilet collects your time, and at the end of the week we see which one of us gets the big teddy bear.
Yeah, right. So it comes down. It comes out of the drop ceiling from like the mall or whatever. Just like bam.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you peed the most in this little target.
That's right. You're the best. You peed in the clown's mouth the most. So hey, God. I'm sorry. I derailed this with my. I literally couldn't make it. Like I was like, okay, I don't have to.
Oh, dude, it's all right. Yeah, we wind up talking about like this is like day 3 of the draft. We're not getting the super chats in or questions or anything. It's like, let's see where we wind up going with this. Charles Gorman says, "Hi, Ryan and Green Bean. What is happening?"
Hey, Charles.
We're talking about some potty time stuff right now. Richard Delgado drops in.
Quan Alexander. What do you think? We haven't talked about Quan. What do you think?
Ooh, let me just respond to Dick real quick in the chat. Dick says, "Can't wait for 5 and 12." I think he's a Dolphins fan, not a Jets fan, because he's a real big jerkala, and he's excited for going 5 and 12 now. Yeah, Quan Alexander, dude, he took the field. What was it, yesterday? I think was the first time. Love it. Sporting the number 9.
Number 9, isn't that nice, dude? I think it's no. So what? Look, there's a range of emotions with this one, right? Like there were people that I've talked to, especially day 1. I went over to the Jet Lounge and I hung out with those guys for a while, And we were all excited. We were all excited. But I thought it was a very, very good move. But some people were thinking like his signing kind of puts us in that wild card position, really fills one of the glaring weaknesses, maybe not glaring, but one of the more weak areas of the team. And I don't think it's to that degree, but I think that he's definitely a strong addition, man. Like putting him in on like third downs, let's just say, just for that alone. Like you got, CJ Mosley and we're using two linebackers, let's say. So you put CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams in there, first and second, third and 8, and you put Quan Alexander, who's known to be a little bit better, in coverage, also has a nose for the ball, man. He has passes defensed and picks in his background. So I think that could be really good. And don't forget, man, I found an article or two when I was researching his background that he's credited by quite a few people with a lot of positive impact on Fred Warner. So we have a little Jamie and Sherwood action, a little Hamza Nasruddin action. So why not bring in a good Salah's previous player vet? Like, why not? I think it's a great move, man. Now, I don't think it's bringing on Von Miller. At the same time, I think it's a fantastic move, especially at this point in the process. I couldn't be happier with Joe Doug. And for 1.2 million, Ryan, sheesh.
Oh, it's like stealing candy from a baby. It was a great signing, and it was one that made a ton of sense. Everyone was talking about it for months leading up. I mean, going back to the draft, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, dude, how surprising was it? As much as I love the idea, and I liked it that day, we were talking about it. I loved the idea of the Jets like foregoing any preconceived notions about running backs in the draft. I love that they had the gumption to go ahead and take Breece Hall, and I love it even more now. But that day, I was convinced when they traded up, it was Nakobe Dean. I didn't have a second thought. I was like, it's one thing to take a running back with your second overall pick, number 36. That's one thing. But to trade up from 38 to 36 to get him, I thought that showed some real balls, and I'm really happy about it. But I thought and then like in the with our fourth round pick or third round pick, there was some really good linebackers there in the third round. I forget off the top of my head, but there were guys I was convinced, and we went tight end, which that almost surprised me as much. Third round tight end, surprising.
Yeah, it felt weird. It definitely felt weird after signing 2 in free agency. And running back, I was with you. Like, I wanted a running back at some point. I thought it was going to be third, fourth round. I was targeting, in my mind, James Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother, the one that went to Buffalo. I think he's going to have a great year. If you're looking for a sleeper, like, fantasy pick, like, that's the guy I'm looking at. So when we took Breece Hall, I was like, oh no, we passed on Nakobe Dean. Like, I like Michael Carter. I like a lot of other running backs. I don't need to go with the running back here, but it's a ballsy pick. You're taking a guy that's considered, 5 years ago would have been a top 15 selection in the draft.
Totally.
Like, this guy can catch, he can run. Like, he is fast as shit. This guy is really quick. When I say, like, we are going to have something special on our hands with him and Michael Carter, it's, like, no joke. This is going to be a really special backfield.
Yeah, I agree. And like you just said, 10 years ago or so, he's a top 15 pick. He was clearly the number 1 running back in this draft. Of course, there's always going to be a guy here or there who thinks another guy's better, but he was among the top 2 or 3 running backs on everybody's board, and on most boards, he was running back 1. The fact that the Jets said, you know what, a running game is super important to what we want here. We look at the running backs. We love Michael Carter. We might like whoever else we have on the back end of the running back group. But we look at Breece Hall as the best running back in this draft. And some are saying outside of like Najee Harris, he might be the best running back in 5 years. So I love that they just said, you know what? It's important. We want Zach to succeed. We want the running game we want the offense to succeed. He's going to give us a better chance than anybody else on the board right now. Screw it. Grab him. I love it, man. I couldn't love it more, actually. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that we didn't get a linebacker. That's it. It's the only thing.
Yeah, that's really the biggest issue in my mind. And if I'm looking like bold take, and I don't know how bold this is or not, but I think both Michael Carter and Breece Hall will eclipse 1,000 yards each. I think it's going to be combined because I think Michael Carter might fall just shy of the 1,000 yards rushing, but I think between rushing and receiving, I think both guys get over 1,000 yards.
I would love to have an offense that has 2 running backs acquiring 1,000 all-purpose yards. Can you imagine? Because, like, think about it. If, let's say, Breece Hall gets 1,200 yards. Let's say Michael Carter gets 800 yards. That's 2,000 yards on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, and then if you add 300-400, whatever it is, each in the passing game, dude, that shows that your offense is cooking. If you have 2,000 yards on the ground and, whatever they do in the passing game, that shows your offense has been able to get on the field and you were able to remain in games. Because, when it's the third quarter and you're down by 17, 21 points, you don't run the ball. So that shows. That speaks volumes. If that's what we end up seeing, we're going to be very, very happy.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Long time since we had a lethal backfield. I feel like for me, I'm thinking probably back to, I guess Chris Ivory probably was the last time we had a good running back there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Chris before Ivory that was like Thomas Jones, LT, Sean Green, like that. I don't think Thomas Jones was with us with LT, but those 2 years, like the 09,
yeah, that was look, I loved LT on our team. And I think, the 2 years he was here, I think he definitely had a lot of juice and, left in the tank. But at the same time, he was never LT here.
No,
He had his moments, and he was still like LT at 60%, 70% is still better than most backs. At the same time, just being realistic. I mean, he wasn't, the LaDainian Tomlinson. He was more of like an accentuate. He was an accoutrement to the offense. You know what I mean? But like Thomas Jones, he had 1,600 yards or 1,500 yards or something for us. There's no joke.
He was so good. We gave up nothing to get him too. I want to say it was like a 4th or 5th round pick to get him from the Bears. I think that was like right after their Super Bowl run too. It was like 2006.
Yeah, it was weird, man. Yeah, I don't know why. I
was stunned.
I was surprised.
Stunned. Brian says, "Sup guys? I'm a trucker and I pass by MetLife every day and can't wait for the season to start. Go Jets. Ryan, congrats on the baby. Green Bean, what's up, bro?" Brian,
what's up?
Thank you so much.
I used to drive by the stadium all the time too, man. Now I don't even live there. I drove by that shit. I used to, my cousin's shop is in North Arlington or Lyndhurst. So, we would load up the trucks in Lyndhurst and I would drive to Manhattan every single day or Brooklyn or wherever. But yeah, I drove by that stadium every single day. And now I never see it. Never.
Except for week 1.
That's right. I'll be there then.
Looking forward to it. I know it's both of us. We got Matt, Richie, Blewett, Tyson, Jeremy coming.
So here's what. Yeah, Jeremy's going to be there too. He'll
coming.
be driving me around. Jeremy, we're going to hang out in Brooklyn too. Now you're not able to go to the Coney Island thing, you said?
I don't think so. You said it's the Saturday before, right?
Yeah, the 10th.
Yeah, UPS for us at Black Bear has a massive outing. There are like 120 players. I shouldn't say massive, but it's a full course shotgun. And I'm taking that Sunday off, so I more than likely will have to be there for that event.
Gotcha. So, hey, you want to know what the Jets traded for Thomas Jones?
I'm going to say it was either like a 4th or a 5th.
No. But it's interesting. We traded them pick number 37, which is
oh no shit! It was a 2nd round pick. Holy smokes!
But it's interesting. So we gave them pick number 37. They gave us Thomas Jones and pick 63. So
wow.
we moved down around to get Thomas Jones. That's it.
That's a great trade. It's a really good trade. We had a few trades in there. The Thomas Jones one, the Fitzpatrick one, the Brandon Marshall one. Like we had a few really good trades for like a 7-8 year span. Cromartie, I think we gave up a second or a third for Cromartie after he had like some ungodly amount of interceptions.
Yeah, we gave a third for Cromartie, but you know why? Because of the way he played in the playoffs. He was a big old puss. Remember the Sean Green stuff? Remember when he literally chose not to tackle Sean Green? And then after that, not only did he stop in his tracks and choose not to tackle him at the line of scrimmage, when Sean Green ran all the way to the touchdown, Cromartie chased him and gave him a late shoulder rub. Like, so they were probably, I'm telling you, that's the kind of thing a coach looks at. The coach looks at that and goes, get off my team.
Mm-hmm.
You literally lost the game.
So,
because he did. He lost them the game, bro. We only won by what? The field goal or whatever the hell it was?
So was Cromartie on our first playoff run in 2009 or no?
Second. No, 2010. We traded Kerry Rhodes in 2009, and we picked up. We traded Kerry Rhodes to the Cardinals, and then we picked up Cromartie.
Oh, it was so good. I miss Rhodes. I feel like Rhodes for me was the last really good ball hawk we had, and for whatever reason, he rubbed Rex the wrong way, and he got ousted. Because even under Rex, our safeties were horrible. I mean, we had Jim Leonard. That was probably like the best thing we had. And he wasn't necessarily like a great safety as much as he was like a really good field general.
Yeah, well, he was an athlete. The problem with him is that he was a showboat too. Like there was that one play where he made a sack, like Rex blitzed him. He came around the end and got a sack, and the ball came loose, but Kerry Rhodes was too busy talking up the crowd about what he was doing. Look how good I am, and didn't even try for the fumble, and there was a big clamoring for the ball. So, you know, that's another thing. Coach looks at him and goes, you know what? I can't stand having guys like this.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe that wasn't the only play, of course, but, you know.
I didn't realize that. Charles says Thomas Jones is second favorite Jet of all time. Ooh, Charles, who's your first one?
Really? Wow.
That's a bold, I shouldn't say it's a bold take, but it's an interesting take.
It is interesting. He's not even in my top 50. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, but you know, it's just.
I like Thomas Jones. I was like
radar.
Super pumped when we got him, but like I don't really consider him. I don't want to say I don't consider him a Jet, but I definitely like he's not. When I think of like favorite Jets, it's like, you know, Mangold and Cromartie, or sorry, Mangold and Corbett and Martin, and you know the guys I grew up watching. Now I grew up watching Thomas Jones for a few years, but like it's not that he's not one. Like Pennington is in there. I would put Testaverde in there for the brief time he was with us. You know, even though he's like all over the place, but he was the starting quarterback when I really started like remembering a lot of football. I was probably like 8 when we went to that championship game.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I know it feels wrong to say it, but I don't necessarily consider Thomas Jones to be a Jet either. Now he is, and again, no disrespect to the comment, you know, that his name's gone. Who was that? I'm sorry.
Charles.
No, Charles. Yeah, no disrespect, but he was only here for like what it feels like fucking 2 minutes. I mean, we traded for him in 2007, and we got rid of him after 2009. So
3 seasons.
You know what? I'm gonna. 3 seasons. Do you remember what the Jets did when we traded him to KC, or maybe we I don't forget. Did we trade or did we just cut him? I think we traded him.
I thought we got something for him.
Yeah, I forget. But the Jets, how weird is this? So the Jets had Thomas Jones for 2 years. Rex Ryan had Thomas Jones for 1 year. Maybe he had him for 1 year, right? So the Jets had him for 3, and Rex Ryan had him for 1 year. He gets like 1,400 yards or whatever it is. The Jets cut him or trade him. And when he signs with the Chiefs, the Jets took out a full-page newspaper ad in the Kansas City papers calling him a warrior. Do you remember this?
I don't at all. That's
the
interesting.
Weirdest. All right, hold on. I'm going to send you a link. It's the weirdest damn thing. I remember thinking, like, why? Like, why are you doing that? Like, why get rid of him and then, like, make a big deal thanking him? I saw it as disingenuous. That's me. Okay. I saw it as disingenuous and I didn't like it right from the get-go. So here, I'm going to send you a link in the chat here. I think I can still do that, right? Is there a chat?
Hold on. There should be one.
Chat. Where's our guest chat? Here it is. So this is the weirdest damn thing, man. And again, when I saw it, I said, what the fuck is that? Like, why do that? Like, that's the kind of thing you do for a player he's been with you for 10 years, like a Sean Ellis, somebody like that. Yeah. Like, we just can't keep him anymore, something like that. But it felt like they had done him wrong. That's what it felt like to me. So I remember I saw it. I was like, I don't know what this, and that was, that was weird. Right before, it was right before 2010. And obviously we loved 2010 and we had a great time, but already the Rex Tannenbaum thing seemed to me like they were kind of shady Shadertons. That's just how I felt. And I still don't get it. It says a person who embodies toughness, dedication, and leadership. Thanks, TJ, for 3 great seasons. Woody Johnson, Coach Rex Ryan, Mike Tannenbaum, and the New York Jets. They took out a full pay. Like, why?
So
what do you guys think of that? Does anybody remember that?
So if I'm looking back on it now, I'm thinking they feel like they probably did him dirty because he performed with us. He played well. And I wonder when that happened in relation to us being able to get LaDainian Tomlinson. Like, did we just see LT and think, wow, this guy's going to be so much better than Thomas Jones? Because I don't remember Thomas Jones having like that much more impact in Kansas City. Like,
no, he didn't. He actually, Charles, the running back, Charles was running back 1 over there. What was his name? Jason Charles, Jamie.
Nope. It's
what the hell was his first name? Started with a J. I think it did. But Charles. So here's the thing. We got rid of Thomas Jones before we even got LT. They were handing the reins over to Sean Green. Jamal Charles. Yeah, I think you're right. So we didn't even have LT yet. They were just giving the ball they wanted to hand it over to Sean Green, who looked really good in the playoffs. But it's a weird gesture, man. And anyway. And that's what's funny too, man. Like the Jets, like they did that to Thomas Jones. Remember Leon Washington? He got his knee ripped up right before the playoffs. And they kind of screwed him too. Remember his wife Leon Washington's wife went on record saying, "Thank God we're getting out of that place." Like, so
I don't remember that, but that's brutal. Oh, I love Leon.
Yeah, totally. And look, he's back with us. So clearly the air has been thinned. But at the same time, it's like you could just see like the beginning of look, with all due respect to Rex and every fun moment he gave us, there was already like cracks in the dam. Like Rex and Tanny were not a good fit. Like they were yucky together. You know what I mean? And there's lots of examples of that. But yeah, the Leon thing, and then Leon, we traded him to Seattle, and he was fantastic. He ran a few touchdowns back for them.
Yeah, he was awesome. I mean, we had a run of kick returners for a stretch there. It was like Leon Washington, Brad Smith, Justin Miller, McKnight.
Yeah, we also had before that Leon Johnson. We
also had the Chad Morton, Santana Moss.
There was one more. What was the cornerback's name? He was a cornerback, number 21 maybe.
Justin Miller.
What was his name, Chad? Justin Miller. Did you already say him?
I don't know if I said Justin Miller
or not. Justin Miller.
He was one of them.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, filthy.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Charles says, I became a full-time Jets fan in 2008. Thomas Jones is number 2 on my list behind Darrelle Revis. Revis was the number 1 reason I became a Jets fan. All right, that's fair.
Nice. Yeah. Fantastic. Right. So, it's funny, Charles, because my favorite players are from the year or two where I became a fan. Like you got Gastineau, Klecko, you got Freeman McNeil, Wesley Walker, all those guys. Those are my guys. You know what I mean? So same exact thing. I get it. Totally get it.
Yeah, ask me my favorite guys. It's
Who's
Curtis
your favorite
Martin.
guy?
It's Wayne Corbet's my number one. Wayne Corbet's my number one. Hands down. I got a signed ball from him somewhere. I think it's in my closet. Wayne Corbett, number one. Curtis Martin, number two. And then it became Nick Mangold. I love Nick Mangold. Big Nick Mangold fan. But I like a bunch of our players. Actually, one of the players that I was so pissed we let walk, Braylon Edwards. I thought he
me too.
was awesome. He was so cool. He was drafted the year I started watching the NFL draft. That was like, I remember watching him go. I think it went number 3 overall, if I remember correctly, because I think it went Alex Smith. Then it was like Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown. Yeah, it was like that whole class.
When we traded for him, I lost my marbles. I could not believe it. Could not believe it. We took advantage of, remember he got into a fight with like LeBron James's crew in Cleveland or something like that?
Yeah.
So they didn't want him anymore. But you know what? It's the weirdest thing. Think about this. You know that famous play with Braylon Edwards when he caught the touchdown in the playoffs and he kind of shook the two guys off in the end.
Yep.
Literally, that's his last game as a Jet, that game. And we just let him walk right after that. And the weirdest
did we bring him back for a little bit? I thought we
no.
Not like that year. I thought it was like a year or two removed.
That we brought him back? Did we?
I think so. That. I feel like we did. Chat, let me know if I'm wrong.
I don't know. I don't remember that one.
But yeah, maybe I'm just thinking of it wrong. I thought we brought him back a few years later after Holmes was gone. It was like totally like
he was already gone. No, he only made it one more year in the league. So think about that. What happened? Really? Yeah, no,
dude, I was so pissed. It's because we traded for Holmes, and we're like, oh, we're gonna give Holmes the contract, and it was like, no, what are you doing?
Holmes the contract. Yeah, think about it. That offseason, we got rid of Braylon Edwards, Jericho Cotchery, and Brad Smith. That one offseason, we decimated our receiving core. But what the hell happened? That we didn't want him, and then he went and signed with the Niners for $1 million. So and he only had minimal impact there, and he was kind of gone. He was injured, his knee. I think he got hurt because it sucked, man. Because I was furious that the Jets didn't even try to bring him back.
Dude, drove me wild. I thought when he had that play where he did the Dougie over top of the Patriot, I think it was McCourty even. Is that right? Was he there that long ago? He like steps over him and he starts doing the Dougie. And I'm just like, this is my guy. Like, let's go. And then that playoff one where he shrugs the two defenders off and gets into the end zone. Like, that's everything I wanted as a Jet fan.
Yeah, me too. It was everything we wanted, and how every receiver, when they caught the touchdown, they would do the little jet flying thing. Like, there was so much there. The truth, we just had to win that Super Bowl. If we would have won that Super Bowl, that team, even if we made it to the Super Bowl, that team would be legendary in Jets lore. Instead, it was just the end of a short period of time, and we went into a decade of sucktitude.
Dude, that was such a fun year. I thought for sure we were going to get it. 2010 was our year. We had Hard Knocks. We had that whole run. And friggin' Sanchez played well. And the defense let us down in the playoffs against the Steelers. And I was like, I remember going back to college and just being like, I can't believe that happened. That Jet Patriot game will go down probably as one of my favorite games of all time. That felt like our Super Bowl.
Well, listen, Michael Elias is saying that we brought Braylon Edwards back in 2012 for camp, then cut him. I don't know.
That sounds right. I thought I remembered that. I mean,
hey, Dom and Frankie, can you confirm this? Did Braylon Edwards get brought back onto the Jets 2 years later?
I'm like pretty positive that's what happened because Jet fans were so pissed. We wound up getting rid of Holmes, and I'm like, almost positive he came back. It would make sense that he didn't play another snap for us, but I could have sworn I remembered having him back.
He didn't. I don't remember him.
Oh, they say 2013 is what Chavez said. Oh, they say yes for 3 games, so I guess he did play. Says Harry
How the
W.
hell do I not remember that at all? For 3 games, Harry. Wow.
Well, it's because those seasons were so horrible. It was like, because after the 2 championship runs, we had the Santonio Holmes fight in the huddle against the Dolphins the last week of the season. And then I think we had the butt fumble right after that. It was like, we got whacked for 2 years in a row, and then we wound up drafting Geno, and then
let me see. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Holy shit.
Yeah, they say 2012.
That's the craziest thing ever.
Huh.
This article says he's more mature the second time around.
I loved him the first time around. He didn't need to be more mature.
I know, dude. We should have just kept. But dude, listen, that's like when Rex Ryan got his hands on our roster, it started right away. His first draft pick was Kyle Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
He sucked, Every single first-round pick. Was there one first-round pick that was even worth a shit? I mean, well, Muhammad Wilkerson had some.
It was
good
Wilkerson.
Years.
It was
Copel sucked.
I think
Calvin
Rex was
Pryor.
here for the Rich. Was he here for Richardson and D. Milner?
Richardson, D. Milner. That was, dude, that draft had Rex all over it. D.
Pryor.
Milner, cornerback.
Dude, Rex had way too much influence on our draft picks. Like that, like if we had Douglas for when we had Rex, we probably win a Super Bowl. But I don't know if we would have been as ballsy as Tannenbaum was. That's probably what pushed it over the top for us.
Rex let Tannenbaum fall on the sword.
Yes,
he
100%.
distanced himself with the Tebow trade. Rex distanced himself and wouldn't play Tebow, so it looked like Tannenbaum. He knew.
I think Rex was Rex and Woody. I think were fully behind the Tebow signing after 100%. They fucked up the whole Peyton Manning situation.
Yeah, dude, there were just so many stupid picks. It was so stupid. The whole thing, the whole era. And that one off season when they let Koch and Braylon and Brad Smith and Sean Ellis and everybody else go, and they brought in Plaxico Burress and Anthony Mason, it was ridiculous. Yeah, that's right. Salty Teacher says Rex won with Mangini's team. That's absolutely the truth. Now, Trader Mike went and added with some trade. He brought in Jenkins. What the hell? I can't remember his name.
Jenkins, Cromartie, Edwards, Holmes.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
exactly.
They were able to attract LT
guys.
And Bart Scott and Jason Taylor and dude, tons of guys. Taylor. Jim Leonard came in, like tons of stuff.
But most of it was the core: the Revis, Mangold, David Harris, the Brickashaw Ferguson, Leon Washington, Brad Smith. All those guys were Mangini picks. Every single one of them.
Hey, Green Bean, you know what time it is?
Yeah, no, we got to end this. I got to start another stream in a few minutes. I just whooped.
Time goes by fast when you're hanging out with a bunch of guys you like hanging out with. All right, totally. Chat. I'm gonna say, give me a number 1 through 20, and that'll be our winner tonight. I got to go through. I'm not gonna do odds or evens right now because we're so far over. Mitt Flair has an 11. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so our t-shirt winner tonight is going to be the Twitter user Amon Guster.
Yeah.
Among Us Tur. There you go.
Among Us Tur.
I don't know who that is, but Among Us Tur. You wind up winning today's t-shirt. Reach out to me on Twitter. Got to reach out to me on Twitter so that way I know it is your handle. Shoot me a DM, and I will make sure I get you out a shirt. Maybe you get one of the sauce shirts. Maybe you get one of the MILF shirts. Whatever you're looking for. All right. We have reached the end of our stream. So, Green Bean, I want to get your thoughts, closing thoughts. What you got going on?
Well, we're about to start another live stream in about, 17 minutes over at Green Bean Jets Fan. You can come on over for the After Hours Jets Fest. We just kind of loosely cut the shit with each other. Shoot the shit with each other. It's just laid back. So, yeah, come on over and hang. We're going to be there for a little while.
All right, boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun. Drop a like on your way out if you enjoyed the stream. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you. We will see you next week, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock for Talkin' Jets. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS. Trippy.